difficult soon after a game, but how do you assess that match?
I think a few weeks ago or even last week we would have lost that. You know, in terms of the last 15 minutes of the match, and you know, the mentality and that siege mentality, you know, to go and defend. I thought that we defended our box absolutely fantastic today. Everything that was thrown at us, and throughout the duration of the game, I can't recall Matty having a save to make. I know that he had a lot of the ball at his feet, etc., distribution, but I thought in terms of that, particularly in the second half, that we looked the most likely at the beginning of the game. You know, for long periods in that game, I thought that we looked the better side in terms of getting into the right areas. Going into the last 15 minutes, yeah, we certainly get a little bit deeper, or a lot deeper, should I say. And, you know, that is in the back of your mind. The players have probably experienced that over the beginning of the season of that. So that tells you that they're growing. You know, they're believing in what we're trying to achieve. And just trying to create those distances a little bit shorter and making sure that we're playing in the right areas. But the overall performance today, you know, I thought once again without the ball we were always had a great shape about us. I thought on the break that we looked absolutely fantastic, you know, 2 or 3 times in the first half. And as I said, I thought that we had the better opening chances of the game. I'm not saying that any team really had a clear-cut one. Did we start the game properly? No. You know, in terms of 20 minutes, I thought we weren't getting any first balls, which I understand with the personnel and that we've got against a very big Raith Rovers back three, but the second ball was very important for us. And I thought we did it terrifically well on Friday evening. Today it took us 20 minutes to start getting into that area, and I thought when we got that little bit right, we then started to make a little bit of inroads, and when we hunted in those little packs, we managed to then get our foot on the ball and get the ball into the right areas, and we broke a couple of times also. So a lot of positive stuff, and as I say there, you know, you're making changes within the game there, and you're trying to keep a freshness and keep that intensity up. And I thought even the finishers that come on, I thought, you know, they had a great impact, you know, a good understanding of what we're about. And, you know, it's very, very important that we don't just speak about the starting 11. You know, we have my biggest headache at this moment in time is that I can only play 11, and it breaks my heart to leave such quality out. But that is a great thing, you know, for this football club, that we have, you know, equally good players to come in and carry that performance on in that intensity.
I suppose when you look back at it, we'll maybe not have created as many chances as you would have liked, but does that clean sheet give them something that they've not had for a wee while to build on? Yeah,
I think clean sheets are always very, very important. You know, I thought there was some very good performance. I thought Big Sean McGinty today, I thought he was, you know, back to what he does best. It's certainly the best I've seen him since my arrival. I thought Mox, who is doing an absolutely incredible, you know, makeshift job for us up there up top. You can see when he gets turned, you can see when he drives with that ball, you know, that he gets bums off seats, you know, he frightens defenders, you know, with his directness. And that's what we've got to do a little bit better. I always think that, you know, we get to a certain stage of the pitch, you know, in particular that last final third, and we want to come back with the ball, and more often than not, that again gives the opposition a little bit. I want directness there. I want them to go and be brave, and if they're going to make mistakes, make it doing the right way. You know, in the final third you lose it. I thought, for instance, Ewan Henderson today, it wasn't his best game on the ball, but I thought his off the ball was absolutely outstanding. You know, he put that workload in, and that horrible side of the game, if you like, the ugly side, but not every fan sees, but certainly I see it. And I thought today, particularly in the first half, I thought there was a couple of times where he could have just drove into the box, but he stopped and then tried to play ones inside, etc. And we had a wee chat with him at half time. I said, look, just be direct, go and and he went. Now, he didn't succeed. The fullback had the better of him today, so he did. But the fact that he's getting in there, because one will go if you keep going and doing the right thing.
And I suppose we very nearly grab it right at the def there, just need a bit of luck for it to bounce the right way. Yeah,
from my angle, I thought it was going to, it looked in, you know, and then it just clips the underside of the bar and bounces. But, you know, Cole McKinnon's, he's fantastic at that when you start to see that power and that drive, and, you know, the little intricate passing, you know, wee Charlie Telfer, he puts some miles in, so he does. And, you know, a big shout out for me today, you know, Lewis Strapp, absolutely incredible. He's an absolute warrior and it's a pleasure to work with, you know, and for him to continue in the manner and the way that he did. Because I, also in the back of my mind, I had the fact that, you know, he's already on a very early yellow card, and a needless one at that. And I can understand Strapp is that type of player, try to put his personality right in the game and make a statement, but it can cost you. So they're little things, nonsense that we've got to try and educate the group in. And then you can see Raith at half time, you know, we knew exactly when we see the boy Chin in there, I says, he'll play on Strappy's side, he'll be direct, and then you're saying, do you keep, do you stick, do you twist, you know, because you've got to get every single one of them right. But for Strappy to play as long as he did in the manner and the way that he played, you know, that is the character that any manager would want.
And I suppose it was encouraging to see that he got up, carried on, and hopefully will be okay for Tuesday night, I take it?
Yeah. He'll be good. He'll be good to go in Tuesday night. As I said there, I'm coming off, wasn't really anything to do with his head or anything within that. It was just the fact that, you know, the longer the game went on, his timing in terms of the personnel they put into that area, and the wee boy Chin, you could see his pace. So we flipped that over and put Craigie, and I thought Craigie handled him very, very well. And then in the latter stages of the game, we put Gavin in there to plug a little gap, just to give a little helping hand.
Craig, your thoughts on the game?
Tough one. I think we were good. I think we were really good first half. Second half, we kind of get pinned in a little bit. Obviously, probably looking to maybe see it out, don't want to lose one. Then don't, you know, obviously want to win one, so trying to find that balance of going too gung-ho. But it was a tough one.
How did you find, obviously, starting at right back and then into the second half, you then switch into left back? How are you finding playing a bit of both? Well,
I've done it a few times now. Done it kind of at the start of the season as well. It's obviously it's a bit awkward, more than anything, but it's nothing like that's too uncomfortable.
And I suppose, like you said, we couldn't get ourselves the winner, very nearly did, right at the death, but getting that clean sheet as a defender, as a team that's maybe conceded some soft goals of late, is that important? Aye,
definitely. Obviously, you're wanting to win your home games, but as a defence, as a back four, and even Dill coming on, all of us are obviously wanting that clean sheet. I don't think we've had one this season, so getting that, hopefully we can build on that going into Tuesday. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's maybe the Dundee and the Bonnie right, but nothing in the league that we've managed to keep it shut. So I guess if you guys do that part of it, then it's going to help the boys in the forward areas to be able to get winners. Definitely. Obviously, if we can keep it tight at the back, it can let them have a bit more freedom going forward, instead of, you know, they'll lose it and we're wide open. You know what I mean? So it's trying to keep that back door shut.